Making headlines this hour. President's UK visit reinforces stronger ties across British leadership. The President's office publishes a detailed breakdown of political appointments. And the Minister of the Divihi Language, Culture and Heritage, Adam Nasir Ibrahim, reveals that all former presidents of the Maldives will be invited to attend the official ceremony marking the 60th Independence Day of the Maldives.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. Member of Parliament and Speaker of the United Kingdom's House of Commons, the Right Honourable Sir Lindsay Hoyle, and UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, Member of Parliament David Lammy, pays a courtesy call on President Dr. Mohamed Muiz during his official visit to the United Kingdom to discuss bilateral ties. The President also participates in a high-level engagement with the All-Party Parliamentary Group on the Maldives at the United Kingdom's House of Lords.
The meeting with UK's Common Speaker underscored the enduring partnership between the Maldives and the United Kingdom, with discussions focusing on advancing shared priorities, particularly in environmental stewardship, sustainable tourism, fisheries, and the promotion of democratic governance. Following the call, President Dr. Muiz signed the guest book to mark the occasion and was later given a guided tour of the Palace of Westminster. Discussions with the Secretary of State, David Lammy, focused on enhancing bilateral relations between the Maldives and the United Kingdom, with particular emphasis on cooperation in fisheries, climate change adaptation, the expansion of renewable energy, and the advancement of education and scholarship opportunities. Both sides also explored new avenues for collaboration across key sectors. The call concluded with both countries reaffirming their commitment to strengthening the enduring partnership between the two nations. The President also participated in a high-level engagement with the All-Party Parliamentary Group on the Maldives at the United Kingdom's House of Lords. The meeting highlighted the enduring partnership between the Maldives and the United Kingdom, which has spanned over 6 decades. Opening the session, Member of Parliament Yasmin Qureshi, co-chair of the APPG Maldives, underscored the international community's shared responsibility to support small island developing states through enhanced financial assistance, technical expertise, and sustained global commitment. President Dr. Muiz also addressed the gathering, reaffirming the Maldives' commitment to strengthening its long-standing relationship with the United Kingdom, anchored in shared values, mutual respect, and strong people-to-people ties. The President, in his remarks, expressed gratitude for the UK's continued support in key areas, including justice sector reform, democratic consolidation, climate adaptation, defense cooperation, and capacity building. The President further highlighted the rich educational and cultural exchanges that have long characterized Maldives-UK relations and expressed confidence in APPG Maldives' pivotal role in fostering dialogue and enhancing bilateral cooperation. Following the opening statements, participants engaged in meaningful and forward-looking discussions, sharing perspectives and exploring avenues to deepen collaboration in areas of mutual interest. These engagements during day one of the President's visit to the UK reaffirms the mutual commitment of both nations to deepen diplomatic relations and expand cooperation across key areas. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and the United Kingdom were established on the 26th of July, 1965.
The President's office publishes a detailed breakdown of political appointments, confirming that 922 individuals currently serve under Article 15F of the Constitution in response to growing scrutiny and public demand for transparency. The figures trace a clearly defined administrative structure, with the highest tier comprising 20 ministerial posts and 14 appointments classified at ministerial rank. These are followed by 93 state ministers and 7 posts of comparable status. The next layer includes 216 deputy ministers and 20 deputy ministerial rank posts. Mid-level appointments comprise 318 senior political directors and 8 designated at an equivalent rank, with 169 political directors and 4 graded similarly. Completing the hierarchy are 4 assistant political directors and 49 positions listed under the general category of other political posts, bringing the total to 922. According to the President's office, the number of political appointments fluctuates over time. Resignations, terminations, and new designations contribute to continual changes during each presidential term. The Minister of the Divihi Language, Culture and Heritage, Adam Nasir Ibrahim, reveals that all former presidents of the Maldives will be invited to attend the official ceremony marking the 60th anniversary Independence Day of the Maldives. The Maldives will celebrate its Independence Day on the 26th of July. Minister Adam Nasir, speaking to PSM News, said the formal Independence Day function will be of help in 2 parts of 2 days, starting at 9 a.m. on the 22nd and the 28th of July at the Social Center in Male. The minister confirmed that all former presidents and vice presidents will be invited to attend the functions, stating that it is the policy of the government to appreciate and honor those who have served the nation, and to pay due respect to former presidents and vice presidents. The minister said, quote, "Independence Day is a day for the entire country. The policy of this government is to appreciate national service and to appreciate the servicemen and women of the country. Showing due respect to former presidents and vice presidents is an example of the value-based change that President Dr. Mohamed Muiz hopes to bring to the country," unquote. In addition to the Independence Day ceremony, Maldives Airports Company Limited has also decided to invite all former presidents to attend the opening ceremony of the new passenger terminal at Valena International Airport, which will be officially opened on the 26th of July to coincide with Independence Day. The newly appointed non-resident High Commissioner Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Maldives to New Zealand, Mohamed Louvaise, presents his letter of credence to the Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief in and over New Zealand, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kiro, at a ceremony held on Wednesday at the Government House in Wellington. During the ceremony, High Commissioner Louvaise conveyed greetings and good wishes from President Dr. Mohamed Muiz to the Governor-General. High Commissioner Louvaise also assured his commitment to further strengthen the long-standing friendly relations between the two countries during his tenure. High Commissioner Louvaise was accompanied by Second Secretary at High Commission of Maldives in Singapore, Jalala Salim. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz appointed Mohamed Louvaise as the non-resident High Commissioner of the Maldives to New Zealand on the 18th of March 2025. High Commissioner Louvaise currently serves as the High Commissioner of Maldives to Singapore. Maldives Revenue and Grants maintains its upward trend this year, posting a 8.9% increase from the same period last year.
According to the Ministry of Finance and Planning's weekly fiscal development report, the government posted $1.3 billion in revenue and grants as of the 10th of July. The figures showed that the government collected $998.7 million in tax revenue, accounting for 76.3% of the total revenue so far this year. Green tax revenue increased by 96.5% over the same period last year due to the change in tax rates, amounting to $71.3 million, while revenue from airport service charges stood at $60.2 million, an increase of 54.4% from 2024. From the tax and non-tax revenue category, airport development fees recorded a 53.3% increase over the same period last year, totaling around $61 million. The significant increase coincided with a boost of 9.1% in tourist arrivals compared to the same period last year. With the increase in revenue, Sovereign Development Fund deposits also increased by 54.4%, reaching $71.3 million as of the 10th of July. Land acquisition and conversion fees, lease period extension fees, and rental income from resorts also increased during the period. With this increase, the total revenue and grants received by the state during the same period this year increased by 8.9% compared to the same period last year.
The Ministry of Higher Education, Labor and Skills Development says it has disbursed over $5.40 million to students pursuing higher education under the Higher Education Scholarship Scheme so far this year. According to the ministry's latest statistics, $5.4 million has been dispersed as scholarships so far this year for a total of 107 students, comprising 72 female students and 35 male students. Of those, 27 students have completed their higher education programs under the scholarship scheme, including 21 females and 6 male graduates. These statistics also show that a total of $21.5 million has been dispersed until now to 305 students, with 207 female and 98 male beneficiaries. While 131 students have graduated under scholarship schemes, these include 75 female and 56 male students. The Minister of Higher Education, Labor and Skills Development, Dr. Ali Haider, previously stated that higher education loan schemes no longer carry interest or administrative fees following President Dr. Mohammad Muizz's decision to make these loans Sharia compliant. Mohammad Saeed, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, describes the government's new trademark bill recently introduced to Parliament as long overdue and essential to building trust within the domestic business sector.
The government has positioned the bill as a pivotal reform to attract foreign investment and strengthen the nation's intellectual property protections. It was introduced on the 14th of July. At the heart of the bill is an effort to strengthen intellectual property safeguards while advancing the interests of local producers and artists. It sets out a formal structure for trademark registration, a clarification of ownership rights, and the introduction of firm legal mechanisms to address infringement and counterfeiting. The draft legislation defines a trademark as any sign used to distinguish the goods or services of one party from those of another. Protections would hinge on official registration, enabling trademark holders to block unauthorized commercial use of identical or misleading similar marks. Specific exceptions to these rights are outlined within the text. Minister Saeed noted that the initiative marks a broader commitment to legal reform as a means of economic transformation. He noted the bill forms part of President Dr. Mohammad Muizz's Maldives Vision 2040, an agenda designed to guide the nation toward developed country status. Registration terms under the bill are set at 10 years with the option of renewal in successive 10-year periods. Provisions also empower courts to issue compensation in cases of infringement, including the recovery of legal costs required to restore trademark rights. The legislation outlines strong deterrence against counterfeiting, targeting the import, sale, and export of fraudulently trademarked goods. Fines imposed under these provisions range from $6,484.52 and $129,690.34. To accommodate the transition, the bill includes a 12-month grace period for existing trademark holders to re-register under the new system. Registrations not updated by the deadline will be voided. Once ratified, the law is set to come into force following a one-year interval.
Visit Maldives Corporation Limited, formerly known as MMPRC's chairperson Abdullah Ghias, announces a strategic shift in the corporation's approach that moves away from symbolic activities towards delivering tangible results.
He made the remarks while speaking at MMPRC's annual general meeting. Speaking at the event, Ghias noted improvements in the company's financial position and operating structure, describing the growth as a historic progress. He highlighted key goals achieved by the corporation in the past year, including reducing operating costs by 10% and cutting down the spending allocated for trade shows from 80% to 34%. He said this has allowed the extra funds to be redirected towards more robust and impactful initiatives. He added, for the first time in over a decade, MMPRC's goals had been reshaped to focus on measurable outcomes rather than symbolic gestures. Ghias added that MMPRC now operates as a modern data-driven and strategic tourism board. Reporting strong growth across key markets, he noted that the Indian market, which had previously declined by 39%, now records a growth of 4%. He also reported a surge in global interest, with Google searches for Maldives from the United Kingdom and Asia have increased by more than 1,000%. Ghias underscored the need for increased financial backing to accelerate these efforts and achieve the intended results. He noted that the regional competitors spend significantly more to promote their destinations, while the Maldives spends the least among competitors. He concluded the Maldives has not matched rival spending levels for over 20 years. MMPRC has been recently renamed Visit Maldives Corporation Limited by a presidential decree of Dr. Mohammad Muizz.
According to Maldives Airports Company Limited, Valena International Airport's new passenger terminal, set for inauguration on the 26th of July, has received unanimous approval from airline operators.
The facility constitutes a major infrastructure upgrade and is expected to significantly improve travel to the country. Airline officials endorsed the terminal following a series of successful operational trials attended by industry representatives. The trials, overseen by MACL, assessed every phase of the passenger experience. Key focus included check-in procedures, terminal navigation, baggage handling systems, boarding operations, and arrival workflows such as customs clearance and baggage retrieval. Participation from airlines operating at VIA along with travel agents ensured a comprehensive evaluation, with MACL receiving feedback across all operational facets. Airline representatives who monitored the trials have responded positively, characterizing the project as a milestone in service delivery. Munaz Ali, chairman of the Airlines Operators Committee and airport manager for Etihad Airways, described the new terminal as meeting long-standing expectations. The broader industry view underscores the terminal's symbolic value. Ahmad Nahushan Nizar, vice chairman of the Airlines Operators Committee and airport service manager for Qatar Airways, emphasized the facility's potential to strengthen the country's global presence. Ahmad Hanam Faiz, station manager for Malaysia Airlines, commended MACL's inclusive operational access and affirmed the terminal's design, acknowledging both functional and aesthetic achievements. Outcomes from the trials confirmed the terminal's ability to deliver streamlined check-in processes through advanced technology and expanded infrastructure. Its layout supports smoother passenger movement and minimizes congestion, while upgraded baggage systems offer increased reliability and speed. New boarding bridges will enhance aircraft access, and arrival formalities have been redesigned for greater efficiency.
The national airline Maldivian announces additional flights to both local destinations as well as India during the upcoming school holiday period. Each year during the school holidays, Maldivians offers additional flights to its destinations to meet the demand for both domestic and international flights. This year, the airline will operate additional flights to 16 islands across the Maldives and 2 Indian cities, scheduled to run from the 22nd of June to the 9th of August. Maldivians commonly travel during school holidays for leisure as well as medical purposes. Maldivian has previously increased its flights during other major holidays in the past to accommodate demand. Maldivian currently operates a fleet of 25 aircrafts. These include a wide-body Airbus A330, a narrow-body Airbus A320, 5 ATRs, 8-8s, and 11-6 Twin Otters. Responding to Canada seeks to finalize a free trade deal with Southeast Asian nations as part of a push to expand into new markets, its top diplomat said, responding to hefty tariffs imposed on it by the United States, its neighbor and largest trade partner.
Foreign Minister Anita Anand said Canada intends to continue a multilateral trade relationship with the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations. She added Canada believes the global economy will be driven by the Indo-Pacific region in the years ahead. Anand said the ASEAN-Canada FTA is one of the ways Canada can diversify its trade relations beyond the group of 7 nations. To conclude her press, she stated beyond trade, Canada will also work with ASEAN on energy, food security, digital economy, and artificial intelligence.
Displaced Palestinians from Rafah rejects an Israeli scheme to move hundreds of thousands of already uprooted Palestinians to a so-called humanitarian city in Gaza, expressing their hope to return to Rafah and rebuild their homes.
Satellite imagery showed recently damaged areas in Rafah, Gaza, with more buildings flattened out. The scheme has led politicians to spar with the defense establishment, but officials say a practical plan has yet to be crafted. Even without a clear blueprint, opposition critics have denounced the proposal, with some likening the suggested site to a concentration camp, which could lead to ethnic cleansing in the coastal enclave devastated by 21 months of conflict. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's administration has defended the project, saying it would offer civilians a safe haven while further weakening Hamas militants' grip on Gaza, but it remains unclear whether it is a concrete government policy. The idea was floated by Defense Minister Israel Katz earlier this month, and Netanyahu convened with the minister and defense officials to discuss it late on the 13th of July. The military had been asked to put together a detailed proposition, but Netanyahu dismissed it as far too costly and complicated. Two Israeli officials who were present said, and ordered them to come up with something cheaper and faster. An Israeli military source said it was a complex initiative that required intricate logistics for infrastructure such as sewage, sanitation, medical services, water, and food supplies. The source further added that planning was in a very initial phase only, and the goal was to supposedly help Palestinians who do not want to live under Hamas rule. A far cry from the reality that faces Palestinians as Israel continues to commit its genocide. Some commentators have suggested the real aim of floating the plan was to increase pressure on Hamas during ongoing ceasefire talks, while also appeasing right-wingers in the cabinet who oppose any truce. Netanyahu's office and the Israeli military did not respond to media outlets on further questioning, adding further doubt to the real motive behind the scheme. Katz outlined the plan on the 7th of July at a briefing with Israeli military correspondents. It followed a proposal by U.S. President Donald Trump, which was publicly embraced by Netanyahu but widely criticized abroad, for Gazans to move to third countries while the battered enclave was rebuilt. Almost all of Gaza's population of more than 2 million people had already been uprooted during the genocide.
Barcelona's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal poses with his new number 10 shirt during a ceremony marking his contract extension.
Just 3 days after his 18th birthday, Yamal signed a new deal that will keep him at the Spanish Championships until 2031. The winger, who played a key role in helping Barca win La Liga and the Copa del Rey with 18 goals and 25 assists in 55 matches, will inherit the club's historic number 10 shirt, previously worn by legends such as Diego Maradona, Ronaldinho, and Lionel Messi. Asked about the responsibility of wearing the number 10, Yamal said that every player has their own history and that he will focus on enjoying the upcoming season. On the 14th of July, a Spanish disability rights group announced plans for legal action over the reported hiring of people with dwarfism as entertainment at Yamal's recent 18th birthday party, calling the practice discriminatory. Yamal celebrated his coming of age on the 12th of July with a star-studded event attended by celebrity guests from the music industry, including Bizarrap, Badial, and Quevedo, as well as social media influencers and many of his teammates. When asked about the controversy, Yamal stated that his sports and personal life should remain separate.
A rare juvenile Cretasaurus fossil sells for $30.5 million at Sotheby's in New York, more than 7 times its low estimate, making it the third most expensive dinosaur ever auctioned.
According to Sotheby's press release, 6 bidders competed over 6 minutes by phone, online, and in person before the specimen was sold to a phone bidder represented by Dr. Matthew Hofferth, head of sale for natural history at Sotheby's. The Cretasaurus now joins the ranks of other high-profile dinosaur sales at Sotheby's, including Apex, which fetched $44.6 million in 2024, a Gorgosaurus that sold for $6.1 million in 2022, and Sue the T-Rex, which brought in $8.4 million in 1997. According to Sotheby's, the new owner plans to loan the specimen to an institution, citing its scientific and cultural significance.
It's incredibly rare to find a complete skull. All of the little fine bones are present, and it was found disarticulated, which is really important. Some skulls you'll find are found fossilized in one block, but all of the pieces were disarticulated, and that means that you can actually take them off the mount and study each one individually. So scientifically, it's really important to have a skull like that because you can study it.
The specimen was unearthed in 1996 at the Bone Cabin Quarry in Wyoming and had previously been exhibited in unmounted form at the Museum of Ancient Life in Utah. It is the second most complete Cretasaurus ever discovered after the original holotype at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. The extinction of the dinosaurs had long puzzled scientists, with various hypotheses offered from the plausible to the ridiculous. Some even proposed that the shrew-sized mammals of the time ate up the dinosaur eggs. In 1980, researchers identified a layer of sediment dating precisely to the end of the dinosaur age containing high concentrations of iridium, an element common in meteorites, indicating a huge space rock had struck Earth. The Chicxulub crater at Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, 112 miles or 180 kilometers wide, subsequently was identified as the impact site of the asteroid that wiped out 3/4 of Earth's species, including the dinosaurs. Hatton said the juvenile Cretasaurus is estimated to sell from $4 million to $6 million, but she added that the market will determine its value. Sotheby's launched its annual Greek Week auction series running from July 2nd to 17, featuring items from space, science, and natural history. The highlight of this year's sale is the juvenile Cretasaurus skeleton.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.
දිවෙහි මිනිවංකම් හෝදුමක් කුරි මස් එක්කතුග සිලෝණුග හිඟාදිය මුහිම්මු කන්තත්ත
ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿಗೆ ದಾಯಿರಾಯಿನ್ ರಾಜ್ಯನ್ ಹೋದ ಮುಂದ ಕುರಿಯರುಂಟ
ಹಫ್ತಾಗ್ ತೆರೆಗ ಫಾಹಾಕುಲ ಬೆ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿ ಹಬರ್